Com. Today we get to talk to Marquitrice. She inherited her family's 150-acre farm in her hometown of Webb, Mississippi, and she is up to some pretty good things with it. Hey, girl.
Hey, thank you so much. How you doing?
I am excited to have you here. I know you even drove a little out of town so you could get some good service to talk to us, which means that you and your community are in the country. So how do you describe Webb, Mississippi if we were looking at a map? Where are you located?
Okay, so we're off Highway 49 between Clarksdale and Greenwood. We're about 25 minutes south of Clarksdale, and it's really small, so you would probably miss us.
Well,
but we're here.
You're here, absolutely, and you're up and you're doing some really cool things. So when you you inherited your family's 150-acre farm, what did you set out to do with that land, and what impact did you want to make on your community?
Well, the biggest thing is I wanted to farm my own land. I mean, me being a woman, and you don't see many of us out farming 150 acres, driving the heavy equipment. You know, I really just wanted to do it and show others, that it can be done. But more importantly, I wanted to preserve my family's legacy and culture, and that's what I've been able to do thus far.
What do y'all farm, or what had you farmed?
Well, so but we back in the day, 30, 40 years ago, we farmed everything. I mean, we had row crops like cotton, soybeans, corn, and we also fed our families and communities. We had ruminant animals, we had vegetable gardens, so we had basically a little bit of everything. And of course, over time, I've had to pull back because so everybody's gone away, and it's just me, so I can't do all that by myself. But I am growing row crops now. I grow soybeans and corn, so I am continuing that portion. Oh, and wheat. I'm continuing that portion of the farming operations. And actually, I'm out today trying to get some soybeans in the ground.
Well, it's because partly, too, you're a busy lady. You started the Farmacy Marketplace there in Tallahatchie for residents as a grocery store and a place to get fresh foods and fruits and vegetables as well as other market items. What was life like in Tallahatchie prior to you starting the Farmacy Marketplace?
Oh, yeah. So it was, of course, we would have to get out of town if we wanted groceries. The Farmacy Marketplace is in Webb. It's only one grocery store, of course, in whole Tallahatchie. So we would have to drive, 30 minutes or more, depending on what part of the county you're in, to get to fresh food. I'm in the field and I want to go grab something to eat. I'd have to drive pretty far or sometimes outside of the county. And that just didn't seem, it just didn't seem right. So a lot of people felt the same way, telling me we need to do better. We need a grocery store. So that's sort of how it all got started, how Farmacy Marketplace came to birth is, the need and the desire to have a grocery store in our community.
And this isn't like a farm stand, which there's nothing wrong with farmers markets or farm stands. Those are wonderful and can fill the gap for a lot of communities. But I'm looking at your picture at SuperTalk.tv.com, and Marquitrice, you are in a grocery store. Like, it looks like you've got cold things, meats, things. So it's like a small grocery.
Right, it is a smaller neighborhood grocery store. It's about 5,000 or 6,000 square feet. But yes, we have everything that a larger grocery store would have. We have a great deli section. We get praises for our variety and quality of our deli meats. We have fresh fruits and vegetables. We have fresh meat department, as well as your everyday canned goods and groceries. And we do have people come in 2 or 3 times a day to get whatever they're cooking for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So, yeah, it's the grocery store, indeed.
And it's definitely made a great impact there in your community. We mentioned when we started Good Things, you had to drive out for the internet service. So I know technology has been a big piece to making your grocery store and your farm business thrive. Tell us how you've sort of partnered or found ways to sort of bridge that gap or to make that accessible for you there in Tallahatchie.
Yeah, it's been really it was really a challenge because I've never really worked in retail, and I've never owned or operated a grocery store. So having good support, good vendors that could sort of have patience with me and walk me through and provide me with what I needed was really, really important to Pharmacy Marketplace success. And I was able to do that. We have a great supplier. We have, of course, being in rural Mississippi and not having broadband, it was important that we have a good POS or point of sale system that could help track our sales and yet be user friendly to our employee base and IT Retail, who is our point of sales provider, have been really at our side, training us and helping to meet our needs, which again was very important for someone who was just green to retail operating.
Well, and I think that's important, too, for folks in smaller communities that may also still be, iffy about whether their internet connection's going to work or not and whether they want to start that business, because you have to have a point of sale. You have to be able to, be able to pay your things online and do all that. So it's good to know those resources that are out there. But what does it mean to the community? What have you heard from your neighbors, your extended community there to have this open?
Oh, the community is so grateful. I mean, it's been just a joy to hear every day. Every day, I hear we're so grateful you're here. I'm sure glad you're here. And it's not just the people in Webb or in our smaller surrounding communities. It's people that have driven hours because they don't have grocery stores in their small rural towns. So it's been an inspiration to other areas. I've had other chambers of commerce and mayors and people to come to pharmacy and see that, if this one person can do this, we can bring a grocery store to our community. And that's been a really big, not just the praises and the accolades from the community, which I get nonstop, but being an inspiration to those outside the community to see that it can be done and inspire them to do the same thing. And asking me, hey, how did you do this? Would you be willing to help us? And I'm like, yeah, definitely. So that's been the biggest, I guess, what I'm most grateful for is being able to not just help my community, but inspire others to bring something like this to their community.
You're also helping small farmers or small-scale farmers, and you partner with a lot of those. How is that helping to provide them a place where they can sell their produce or they can know they can, have a buyer at the end of harvest?
Yeah, and that was again, Farmacy Marketplace just solved so many issues, and that was another issue that it addressed. I do work with, I have a farmer training program, and I work with small vegetable and ruminant animal growers in the Delta, and they, of course, everyone's looking to, increase their income and be able to reduce food waste and have a market to sell as much as they can produce. And Farmacy Marketplace hopes to, we do work with farmers to put some of their vegetables in our store, but we're looking to help increase that and be able to not just put some of their things in our store, but have a large percentage of our produce provided by local growers, and not just in our store, but in other local stores, smaller stores as well. So being able to have a retail outlet in the community, as well as for those farmers, as well as helping them to make those necessary changes to get in other retail markets is what our organization in Farmacy Marketplace is all about.
So, Marquitrice, where can we go for more information? Where can we learn more about Farmacy Marketplace? Where can we learn more about the programs you just mentioned? Or if we've got questions for how'd you do this in rural Mississippi, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can always call me, or you can go to our Facebook page at Farmacy Marketplace, or our nonprofit Facebook page is In Her Shoes, Inc., which is Farmacy Marketplace's parent company or parent nonprofit, or you can send me an email at inhershoesinc, all one word, at outlook.com. Or you can always Google me. My name is Marquitrice Mangham, and I'll pop up. So.
And how does it feel driving the big green tractor? I don't know if it's green, but
it is green and it is hot. But yes, it's great. This is the best time of the second best time. The planting season is my favorite time. Harvest season, of course, is my most favorite time. So yeah, it's pretty great. I'm excited.
Well, congratulations for you for continuing your family's legacy there with your 150-acre farm. I think that's really cool and giving back to your community of Webb, Mississippi. I think what you're doing is great. Food's needed. Fresh food sources are the best, and especially when they're locally owned and operated. So kudos to you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you, Rebecca. And have a great one.
All righty. You guys stick with this. We got more for you.